Welcome back to MMA Unhinged, and joining us today is Marcin Tybura. Marcin will be headlining UFC Vegas 95 against Sergey Spivak in the rematch on August 10th. So, Marcin, thank you, and thanks for taking the time, man.
It's a pleasure for me. Yeah, great to have.
Yeah, so we're just under a month out. So, how are you feeling? How's everything with training camp?
Everything go well. It's been a long camp because I knew about the files pretty much early, and yeah, I did lots of training. Nothing a surprise. It's been a tough one as usual, and it's not much left to go.
Well, yeah, and you talked about knowing about the fight for a while now, so I understand UFC can sometimes be late with their announcements. So, how long have you known about this fight?
I knew about the fight about 10 or 11 weeks ahead of the fight. So yeah, I don't exactly remember what the day was. It was announced, but I've been pretty much ahead of the fight.
Okay, and talking about your training camp, I know that you've been training at Anko's. Excuse me if I said it wrong. Anko's MMA over there in Poland, but I also know you have ties with Syndicate MMA. So, do you have any plans on coming to Vegas early?
You say it right. It's Enkel, so
Anko's perfect.
was good for you. Yeah, I've been here. I've been here since COVID starts, and it's been 4 years actually. So I love the gym, and I have lots of heavyweights. And I'm planning to go to Vegas. 9 days before the fight to do the acclimatization and everything. Well, that's the only thing. I work with with John Wood with the syndicate, but at first as we start, and I prepare for the first fight with Sergey Spivak with John Wood, and I love it. I was going to be back there in Vegas for next camp, but everything shut down because of the COVID. So I just have to
Mhm.
join a new gym, and now I'm in Ancos, and we've been doing very well for 4 years now, and I have everything here what I need.
Oh, that's excellent to hear. And in other news, they've UFC EA Sports has been adding some fighters to the roster on the game. There, they've added a particular heavyweight, the one that I'm talking to here. So, how is that? And have you are you a gamer by chance?
Not a big fan of video games. I I played only football game like FIFA. Yeah, so whenever in my life I played video games with FIFA. So I tried UFC a couple of times, but I'm not, I wasn't good at this, so I didn't plan to stay long. But it's really cool because I it's really cool for me to see myself as a a character in a game, and I love it. I really enjoy it that they put me in there, and people always referring to me that they played by my by Marcin Tybura in a UFC five, I guess. Yeah.
And do you feel like they captured your movements and the way you fight well?
Actually, I didn't, had much time to see if it's everything captured well, but it's pretty much, yeah, I think so. It's not mine. It's hard for me to judge because I don't see myself how I how I move. It's
For
more,
sure.
for people to judge because I may say, yeah, sometimes, you can tell, I don't do that, but other people say, yeah, you do that. So so it's not my job to judge it.
For sure. Now, there's a big fight this weekend. You got Aspinall, and you got Curtis Blades there. Will you be watching this fight as a fan and maybe also studying both fighters? I know you fought one of them previously, but studying both fighters for a future matchup.
I will be probably watching, but Studying, it's usually I left it for the time when I put it against some people. Probably, yeah,
Hmm.
I see. I know how the I already study some actually lots of atom movement, and I've been watching Curtis for a long time too. So I
Hmm.
know fighters those fighters pretty well. So can wait to see this rematch, because everyone curious how it play out, because the first one was the injure. So
Hmm.
there's lots of things coming up with this. It's how Tom will be looking against Curtis when he's healthy.
Of course. And who would you have in that matchup?
Well, and as I was fighting Tom, and I know what he's capable of, and saw him in these fights when his fights are really impressive, and his wins are really impressive. So it's hard for me to put against him for this one. So I would pick John. I would pick Tom.
Of course. And we've seen fighters when they've headlined a card for the first time. Sometimes there can be a bit of nervousness or jitters. But for yourself, you've headlined quite a few UFC main events now, and this will be your third one in a row. Is there still any kind of pressure on you, or is it just business as usual?
No, it's always a completely different kind of story. You
Hmm.
never get used to it, because fights happen like 2 3 times a year. So the fight itself, because sometimes you can use to go to the gym to spar every week and do other stuff, but the fight itself is a completely different kind of things. And whenever it comes closer to the fight, you can feel the rush of adrenaline and different feelings and stuff like this that usually normal people who only train, they don't feel it. And sometimes they think whatever you do at the gym, you can just go there and apply it to the fight. It's like it's a little bit different, and I can feel every time the fight is coming closer. I can feel it, and I love it. I love that it's different. And sometimes when a fight was coming up and I feel myself like too calm, it didn't play out well later. So I like when it comes with the adrenaline, when everything with the emotions. Yeah, that's what I love this game so much.
Of course. And after your fight with Tom Aspinall, we didn't see you back in the cage until this year of this year in March. So that being said, and I mean, you submitted Ty, who's a really dangerous guy. Did you feel like that time off helped you, or was this also planned, or was it just a coincidence?
The plan, you mean how the fight went?
No, sorry, the
Sure, the
plan to
way, the
take the
way.
time off. Yeah,
Take the time off. No, no. Actually, I don't usually do any plans about how long I wanna be, off the fight. I usually wait for UFC to call, and yeah, they just, maybe they gave me the time to rebuild my mindset, because the fight with Tom was tough for me. The way it went, and was a really tough time for me later. So it actually wasn't planned, but it played out very well for me. So as you could see by my performance from the last fight.
of course. And now we're talking about a rematch 4 years later in the making with Sergey. You both have obviously grown as fighters, and your capabilities and skills have just improved obviously in those 4 years. So when you look at the rematch, what do you feel you could do different against a guy like Sergey Spivak?
What I can do different in this rematch, I actually feel like Sergey gained some weight. I can tell, and I probably he's much more stronger, which gives him much more opportunities in the game plan that he brings to the fight, which I think is more like clinching, doing more grappling and wrestling. So he will be much more dangerous in this area. But I think I improved more in a stand up, in striking, kicking. So that might be a different thing for me in this fight. So when I just feel like for this fight I might go more with the stand up fighting.
And that being said, you kind of just talked about how you would approach it differently. Obviously, you got the win over decision win over him. So, what kind of finish would you like to have over a guy in like him in a rematch?
I I
What
actually
would be an
don't.
ideal? What would be an
Yeah,
ideal finish for you? Of
yeah, that's the thing. I don't like doing predictions, and I don't
course,
see like I'm doing. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like I'm doing prediction against Sergey, because I always respect someone that's I'm fighting, but the way the fight played out for me, the last fight, which was just one round and lots of things happening, so that's the game plan I like to bring to the fight, especially heavyweights. Usually fans don't want to see like 5 rounds of heavyweight fighting. So uh, best scenario was if we go really hard in the first one and got the finish it in inside one round. Yeah, so that's the best scenario.
and that being said, this will be your second fight of the year. So, in a perfect world, would you like another fight around in the fall or autumn time?
Yeah, yeah, totally. Also, there will be much time left, so yeah, when I go there and everything will be fine after the fight, I will be ready to go. But right now, just focus on Sergey.
Of course. And just lastly here, obviously you're focused on your opponent, and I would never ask you to overlook Sergey, but obviously
Would
you're in
be
a
next.
position. It would be next. But is there you're in a position where you're looking at the last, you know, 5, 6, 7 positions in the rankings? Is there guys that you would like to fight in the future?
Well,
Or is
uh,
it or is it anyone that just gets you to the title quicker?
yeah, yeah, that's it. I don't pick up, as you see, and as you can tell, I don't pick opponents. Sergey is like
Yeah.
behind me in the rankings. I won against him, so I agree for this one. So whenever they bring me, I always agree. As a fighter, as an ambitious fighter, I always looking for someone that can bring me closer to the title. But
Mhm.
and there are names in top five and top seven where who I didn't fight, and I think would be a good matchup for me. But I always agree for anyone.
Of course. Well, Marcin, I know you're preparing for a fight here, so I'm gonna let you go. So thanks again. It's a pleasure having you on as always. I know I've spoke with you before, and it's always a pleasure having you on here with MMA Unhinged. So just good luck on August 10th, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much.